Ensuring home safety is the title of our video. We have chosen this topic because the group age over 65 years old is the fastest growing group in the United States, and also because 1/3 of injuries suffered by those people resulted in severe disability. According to the CDC, in 2008, almost 20,000 people died following falls. In 2010, the direct cost was above $29 billion. It is also reported that people who suffered from fall develop fear of falling, sedentary lifestyle, impaired function, and also what is the most important, low quality of life. Through this video, we are going to provide basic information about steps to take in order to foster a safety environment to ensure safety for all the adults.
I don't know what to do.
Why? What happened?
My mom, when she's dead, sometimes we don't feel comfortable to let her alone at home. Our problem, me and my old one, our problem, afraid, because let her alone in the house. I know she's strong, she's independent, but now she's not going to remember the same thing that she used to do before, and the feeling we are afraid that sometimes she gets lost in our own house.
Well, I know what you mean. Caring for our parents is like caring for our babies. We have to watch out then all the time, because when you least expect it, something can happen. Last year, my father suffered a fall and he broke his leg. And he was alone in his house. Yeah, thank God nothing worse come out of that. But he was found hours later by a neighbor because of the pain, there is no way that he call us or call somebody to help,
Yeah, I'm going through something very similar. My dad is living with us, and I'm also very concerned about his safety. So what I did, I read a little bit. I did a little bit of research about home safety, and I found some great information on how to improve my home in order to provide a safety environment for my dad, sort of like baby-proofing the house. Okay, there are several things that you guys can, suggest your parents to do. If they're active individuals, for example, your mom, you can tell her to, do some exercise, some physical activity. That way, she'll increase the strength and the balance, preventing some falls, and also give her like a sense of independence. Other things are very common sense. For example, if you walk around the house, make sure that there's no rugs. Make sure that the floors are not slippery. And you can also give your mom, for example, those socks, like the socks that they provide the patients with in the hospital. Those that they won't allow the patient to slip and fall. Okay. You can give them one of those.
Yes, I have seen those before.
Other things is, for example, move away the furniture. Make sure that whatever your parents, walking around, that there's no furniture, preventing them from, moving with freedom. Okay, so that way you can avoid them to bang against the furniture and injure themselves that way. The other thing is very important, have someone install handrails. That way, if they, for any reason, lose their balance, they have something to hold on to. The falls, according to what I read, the majority of the falls happen when there's steps involved. So whenever you have steps in the house, get handrails or grab handles. That way you can prevent falls, and your parents. What else? In case your mom or dad or grandpa, whomever is in a wheelchair or a scooter, you might want to think about replacing those steps with ramps. Also, to have lifts that you can install by the stairs, so that you can take the wheelchair up to the second floor without any problems.
Okay, that's
I agree
a good
with you
idea.
with sex.
There are some things that you can do also in the bathroom, for example. In the bathroom, you can use a no-skid mats. The bathtub entirely can be replaced. You know, you can put a bathtub that has a door on the side. That way, you know, your mom or your dad doesn't have to climb in and, you know, risk to lose their balance and fall. If that's out of your budget, then you might want to suggest to parents just to use, you know, the regular shower. That way, there's no climbing involved. You just slide the door, go in, and they can shower themselves. Also, whenever they take a bath or shower, you know, you might want to use handheld shower heads and shower seats. You know, that way they don't have to stand. You know, they're not going to have any problems, you know, passing out while they're taking a shower. Definitely, you know, install handle rails, you know, grab bars within the shower, just in case, you never know. And one thing that I read that was very interesting was, you know, making the toilet bowl a lot taller.
What? Taller toilets? What?
Yes. Basically, the idea behind is that, you know, in the regular toilet seats, because the elderly people don't have enough strength in their legs, they have a hard time getting up, you know, and when they try to get up from a sitting position, they might risk, you know, losing the balance and actually falling. Whereas if they have a taller toilet bowl, you know, where they sit, you know, going from a sitting position to you know, a standing position is going to be much easier, and that way you avoid the risk of falling.
Oh, that's great.
Alan, those are great ideas, but what if my dad falls regardless and no one is there to help him? What then?
Well, there is a nice gadget that the person can wear around their neck. It's like a remote control. All the person has to do is just press it, and that sends a signal over to like a 911 kind of service, and help will come and, you know, rescue your dad.
Yeah, but what if my dad is unconscious and cannot press the button?
Well, in that case, what you can do, there's some technology. Basically, what it is, it's sensors. They're pressure sensors that are installed underneath the floor of your house that detect if there is any lack of movement. Those are programmable. So if the lack of movement occurs during a certain amount of time, the alarms goes off, and it's going to be sent to the signal is going to be sent to a monitoring device and to a relay station where, you know, where help is going to be called. If besides the sensors, there's also motion alarms where you can again, you can program it, you know, either for the day or for the night, depending on the amount of activity that there is during in your house. So the way it works is if the system detects a lack of movement in the house during a certain period of time, you know, the alarm goes off, and, you know, rescue or you are going to be notified of it.
Man.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, just imagine, there are even monitors that you can place underneath a mattress. The way it works is whenever, let's say you put the monitor underneath your mom's bed, you know, whenever she stands up, the monitor will automatically send a signal to the lights, and the lights will come on. That way, like, for example, she's going to the bathroom, the lights will come on automatically. She doesn't have to fumble around or stumble around to try and, you know, turn on the lights. That way, the risk of falling is going to be a lot less.
Man, that is too sci-fi for me. Besides, my mom lives with us.
Well, you know, remember, you know, you're not there with her all the time, so an accident can happen in a split of a second.
Yeah, you got a good point. Yeah.
I mean, right now there's technology where you can monitor your parents from far away. You know, they give you monitoring devices where from, let's say, your home, you can control the lights, the blinds, appliances in your parents' place.
That's good. That's good.
There is a lot of technology to help your parents. For example, Samsung came out with a new cell phone with larger numbers, larger display, very basic functions. That way your parents can, you know, make a phone call through a cell phone without any problems. There's also devices that are voice activated. For example, your parents can turn on the lights, control the blinds, the remote control, and some appliances just by saying, a few commands. They even come up with some great technology. For example, when the mail arrives. I mean, when I read about it, I was, a little in shock because, I would never think about something like that. We normally go to check the mail, 3 or 4 times every morning. Okay, for us it's not a big deal, but for the elderly, that could be, a pretty intense task. So what they came up with, it's a monitor device that sounds off an alarm inside the house whenever mail is delivered. That way, your mom, for example, will know exactly when the mail is in the mailbox, so she can walk there and pick it up herself. They even have technology for the doorbell. What it is, it's a monitoring device that's connected to the doorbell. Whenever someone rings the door, a signal is sent to monitors spread out of around the house, and you can see who's at the door. The other technology I read about is for people with Alzheimer, for example. One of the technologies, it's a bracelet, sort of like a low jack for human beings. Basically, when the patient is, not the patient, but your mom, lives, and you realize that she's not coming back. You can activate the device. The signal is sent to a monitor station, and the alarm is sent off to the police and local businesses, and they can track down your mom. In case you don't realize that ahead of time, there's also some IDs that your mom can wear. All the ID contains a 1-800 number that can be used 24 hour a day, and it's connected to a national database with all the information about your mom, medical condition, and the number to get in touch with you in case there's a need. Also, you can set up alarms at the doors of your house, so that way you can, an alarm goes off whenever someone leaves. That way that alarms you if, for example, your mom decides to go for a stroll in the neighborhood.
Oh, and that's great information about that, but it might cost.
Yeah, that's one problem. I mean, all this technology is very costly, but think about it. Think about it. How much rather spend some money in this kind of investment, protect my parents, instead of actually risking that they have an accident and maybe even lose them.
I think it's very important to know about fire safety tips. Let me tell some of them. Please tell your mom that when she's cooking, please don't wear loose-fitting clothing like pajamas or bathrobe, because they kind of clothing can ignite easily. When she's cooking, never leave kitchen unattended. Okay? And double check the kitchen before she's going to bed or leave the house. Okay? Another important thing is avoid use too much appliance in one electrical outlet. Make sure that smoke alarms works, like testing 1 a month and replace batteries once a year. If someone uses oxygen at home, please make sure that there is a sign, and please no one smokes near the oxygen tank. Finally, it's important to have disaster plan and fire evacuating.
The purpose of this video was to share with you some information about safety issues and also about ways to prevent them. We humbly hope we have raised your awareness and contribute in preventing countless falls.